welcome to CNBC TV 18. I'm Malvika Jain and I have with me Martin Peters, the MD and CEO of Vodafone India. Martin, welcome to CNBC TV 18. My first question to you, you've been in India for about 5.5 years now. You have seen 3 governments. This is going to be a 3rd government. Are you Modified? Do you think that Modi is going to be this man who is going to transform the investment environment in the country?
I found it very interesting to follow these elections closely because sometimes you can think in big countries like India, how is democracy exactly working? And I'm really glad to see that it works very well because it was a clear vote. There's a very clear mandate now, and I think the country was ready for a change. And we are optimistic that we've seen the low point, and from here on it can only go up.
But as a person who is leading an MNC, and I'm sure you must have traveled across the world, do you feel that in India now, the investment climate in particular is going to be changing? Because I remember that when the tax dispute that Vodafone had with UPA2 was at its peak, Vodafone wrote several letters to various industry associations. You took up the issue with your government as well. That probably India was losing its sheen as an investment destination. Has that changed now, the perception?
I guess it has not changed yet, but I'm sure if the government does the right things, then it can change very quickly. Companies need consistent regulation. Companies need predictability. And if you take telecoms as an example, that is very important because we are a very capital-intensive industry. We put our money literally in the ground. We can't take it out. We can't walk away from it. And it's there for the next 10 years, and the paybacks are also very long. So once you start the game, then you don't want to change the rules of the games every year. And of course the tax situation in general I think has been very aggressive in the last few years, and it has scared off a lot of companies. And I think by bringing that trust back, that the predictability is there, that it is rule-based taxes, then I think also foreign investors will be happy to come back to India because there will be lots of growth to come in the next decade, and actually decades probably.
So to be able to bring this trust back, what do you think are going to be your 3 expectations, priority, mandate that you would like to give to Mr. Modi and his team?
Well, let me focus on the industry because I'm not an economist who is commenting on the general economy. But in our industry, we would really like to see that the industry is not seen as a milking cow for the government only. What we today pay to the government is out of proportion with what we are able to pay or to our shareholders, or actually even more important, to invest in our networks. If I just take the example of Vodafone alone, in the last 5 years we have paid 64,000 crores to the government, and actually we have invested not even close to that amount in our networks, where India is really starved from broadband connections. We need more spectrum as an industry. We want the new government to make more spectrum available so that we can build more broadband, but we also need the money for that, meaning that you can't keep taxing or levying or whatever you call it, taking money out of the industry. I think that is probably priority number 1. Then we also would like indeed more predictable and long-term regulation. It's also clear that there are too many players in the telecom industry in India. We need to see some consolidation. Now, we have been eagerly waiting for rules around spectrum trading and spectrum sharing, so I hope those will come very quickly, and hopefully we will then see some consolidation happening also.
As far as consolidation is concerned, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but Vodafone just entered into a deal with Tata as far as an arm in South Africa was concerned, and there was a lot of speculation that Tatas were being eyed by Vodafone in India as well. Is that something that looks like a possibility to you at this stage? If not, to say that the deal has reached its final stages?
Vodafone has been exploring opportunities for consolidation also in India. We do that actually everywhere because this is the only industry we are in. We have money, we have opportunity to do that, but it also needs to make sense. And what we see in India today is that where I would be very keen to acquire some assets that I don't have. Let me give you the more obvious example of 3G spectrum. We only have 3G spectrum in half the country. I would love to have it in the other half. The issue is then, do you need to buy a whole company to get only one asset? So I jokingly said before, you're not going to buy a whole hotel because you want to use the room for a few nights. That's not the good thing to do. So typically buying a company comes with a lot of complications. We're not scared to do that, but it needs to make sense. It needs to make sense.
Cautious as far as an acquisition.
Yes, we have been cautious, and I think again we are waiting for spectrum trading and sharing rules because that might be a very good alternative for mergers and acquisitions.
So at this time, you're not ruling out a possibility of looking at Tata's as a good buy, but that is something that would depend on the overall business environment.
I'm not ruling out anything because we are exploring opportunities while we speak. If we see an opportunity to create long-term value for our shareholders by doing some form of consolidation or M&A, we would for sure go to our board and propose it.
Well, and you mentioned about 3G. The intra-circle roaming issue has remained contentious all along, and even while during his last days in the government, Kapil Sibal did say that he hopes that the next government is going to take this issue forward and would appeal before the Supreme Court and for overruling the TDSAT. What are your thoughts on this issue? It's been going back and forth from the TDSAT to the High Court to the Supreme Court and back to TDSAT. It's happened a number of times by now.
I'm not sure if the minister read the verdicts, but the judgment is very clear, more or less saying that the government behaved really bad here. We asked twice the question, can we roam on 3G spectrum before the auction started, and we got written answers twice that yes, you can do that. When you then start doing it and then they close down the business, that doesn't make much sense. So we were not surprised by the outcome of the TDSAT court case, but if you think a bit more pragmatic, actually 3G roaming is good for everyone. It's good for the customers because they get access to broadband. It's good also for the government because we create more 3G revenues and the government is in a revenue share model with us. So actually everyone gains. It is very difficult to see why you would want to go to the Supreme Court to stop this.
Well, let's see what is going to be the view of the next government that takes charge. But the tax issue that Vodafone Group has with India, I think, is also going to primarily depend a lot on the next government that is going to be taking charge. But as an insider, I know that it's a group issue and that you won't want to comment on record. Do you think that there is still a possibility of negotiating with the government despite the fact that the group has slapped an arbitration notice? Well, actually initiated arbitration.
If I read the statements that have been made before and during the election process, then I'm sure that the new government will place all these tax issues very high on its agenda. And I think it is in everybody's interest to find quick solutions. That is good for the country, it's good for the government, and it's also good for Vodafone. We can't deny that. We, as Vodafone India, are not part of that discussion, but I would love to see the day that we can say we leave this chapter behind us.
We are in conversation with MD and CEO of Vodafone India, Martin Peters. We are going to be back soon after this.